Neil Cross, everybody. It's slightly less hot this week.
It feels a lot better.
We tried to do a little better preparation. Get the house a little cooler before the recording of the show.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. You got a big old thing of water there. Staying hydrated.
Yep. Thanks to Southern Hills Hospital.
That is one heck of a... It's even got measurements on the side. A little cap for the straw.
It does. It's quite nice. Very nice for traveling, too, for our adventures.
Yeah, except it doesn't fit in any cup holder on the face of the planet. It's the biggest chalice, the biggest hospital chalice I've ever seen.
They want to make sure their patients are drinking a lot of water.
Yeah, well, baby has to stay hydrated.
Yeah. I've been feeling quite pregnant today, and I've been feeling it.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of, yeah, a lot of moaning and groaning and stuff.
Yeah, there's quite a lot going on over here. It's hard to hold it all.
You poor girl. Yeah, and the chair is like 4 feet off the ground to begin with.
I'm over here like trying to like slide myself into the chair.
Speaking of chairs, it's been a week and mine is still in death mode here. If I lean too much, it'll just go right out from under me. I'm just waiting for that to happen.
The pregnant girl over here is trying to drag her concussioned fiance to the car. Let's go, babe.
That's why I gave you the good chair. I don't want anything to happen to you over there. Yeah. Oh, geez. All right. Crazy day.
Yeah.
How about it? Yeah. Our audience doesn't even know the beginning of it.
The first thing today that Zach tried to distinguish, no adventures.
Yeah, we have work we need to do.
Yeah.
Because every time we go out, we have a need to go out to the desert a lot. We collect things in the desert, mostly rocks and wood and things for outdoor projects.
Yeah.
And we have a very rustic styled home, so we use a lot of rocks and wood and things like that. So we go out there and find stuff that we can use. But the hard part is we always find an abandoned shack or something that we want to go explore. So I said today, no exploring. We're going to drive right out. We're going to load the trunk full of rocks. Yeah, we're trying to do a rock garden for a little area outside. And we're going to go outside. That's all we're going to do. And we're going to come back.
Yeah, that he should know by now doing that with me. That doesn't happen. I'm over here. Oh, what's that place? Oh, abandoned. Let's go there.
Yeah, and I can't say no because I have a problem with that. So, because I want to do it too. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. But we're getting married in a month. We've got a lot to prepare for. Family, I think it's at the time of the recording of this, and it's going to get released a couple days later, but at the time of recording of this, it's like 33 days, 35 days, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's less than a month, and we're running out of time. I'm not super stressed out. I think we still have a good amount of time, and the tasks we have to do aren't massive.
I'm quite stressed.
Oh,
He can
your
tell
job.
you. He can tell you how many breakdowns I've had.
That's just normal.
I know.
If you weren't having breakdowns, I'd be worried you didn't want to actually get married. It wouldn't be real, you know?
Right? No, it's just being pregnant on top of everything, hormones. It's like every little thing I cry about now, and I don't know why. It's like, I have no reason to cry about this.
That means it's
but
working.
I do.
That means it's working.
I mean, I saw the other day, I saw something on Instagram, and it's one of those like rescue pet things where you see this like sad animal that's been abused, things like that, and I'm looking at it and I'm just like tearing up, and it's like it's why am I like, yeah, it's sad, but it's an Instagram post. Like, why am I tearing up over an Instagram post?
That just means your body's doing what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So lots to prepare for. A lot of just dumb stuff, like making sure the air conditioning works in the cars, because we're going to be transporting family. We're getting married 2 hours north of here, so we're going to be transporting family and making sure you're comfortable. You're like wincing over there.
I was adjusting.
You were adjusting, Vlad.
Yeah, I have to lift up my tummy and put my hands underneath
Retuck.
and yeah.
So we want to make sure you're comfortable because it's going to be a long day, and we want you to get as much as you can out of the day. I don't want you to get worn out at 3:30 when the wedding's supposed to start, just because you've been dragging around all day in the heat, whatever.
Yeah,
so
enjoy, and
it's going to be June. It's right at the prime of when it starts to get hot around here. So it's going to be, I'm sure it'll be in the 90s here in Pahrump, up in Goldfield, hopefully be in like the 70s or 80s. But
yeah, hopefully. I'm getting quite worried because, again, being pregnant. So Zach and I went and bought my wedding dress maybe about like a month and a half ago.
Yeah. We won't talk about where we got it from.
And I mean, it's a whole setup. Like there's 3 pieces to this dress, and one of them is a corset. The corset's fine because I got quite a large size already, assuming that I'm pregnant. So I mean, there's a lot of lace in the back. It has a lot of wiggle room to get bigger. But where I had it set to was perfect to where the skirt would fit, and the skirt is what I'm concerned about. So I tried putting on the corset the other day to make sure it still fit, and obviously I've gotten bigger because of Vlad.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah. So the corset doesn't fit anymore to the size I had it set for the skirt. So now I'm knowing just great. Now I'm gonna have to go take my skirt, go get it altered from my grandmother because she's good at that, and have it made bigger. And it's just like, I need my dress to fit.
Yeah, I think we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, like deep down I knew, but like I was trying to like convince myself and lie to myself, oh, it should be okay by then. But I mean, by the time we get married, I'm going to be like 7 months pregnant. So no, I'm going to be June. I'm going to be about 7 months pregnant.
That's right. Yeah, well, and so there's a shop in Vegas. Some people look at it and they think it's a porn shop, and it's anything but. It's called the Love Store, and it's got a lot of interesting things in it. But it also has a really cool clothing section, and we're going for an off the wall, like Burning Man style, abandoned, apocalyptic, like sort of thing. We're getting married in an abandoned schoolhouse, which is really kind of cool.
Yeah,
visually for sure. So we wanted something that was really unique and interesting, and they had some really pretty things there. And the people at that store rock.
Yeah, they're really nice. They're really helpful. They're really just outgoing. Every time we go there, we get we've had probably a different person every time.
Yeah.
And they're just, every person has been just really just out there. Like they were really nice, really just.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable, but like in the selection of clothes they have quite a lot, and they have really nice shoes, things like that. I even got my wedding shoes there.
That's right.
Yeah, but like the corsets they have, like it's like they have like steampunk styled and like really nice corsets. I mean, my whole outfit cost about $500-$600. Like it was quite expensive for 3 pieces, so it's good quality. And
it is. I don't feel like it's cheap at all. The service was personal. I mean, you had a personal assistant helping you trying them on, and adjusting
it was like when a woman goes to a actual wedding dress shop.
Yeah.
And one of the associates goes into the dressing room with her, and she helps her put on the dresses. Well, that's how it was here. I mean, one of the associates was gladly, like, very welcoming to come into the dressing room with me, help me get the corsets on. She put on these different outfits to see which one I liked best. I mean, it was literally like a wedding store.
Yeah.
With the service and the quality and everything.
Yeah. And we went there at like 1 a.m. or something.
Yeah, we did. Well, actually, it was a little bit later because we didn't end up getting home until 5.
That's right.
5 in the morning.
So we were there in the middle of and they were excited, I think, because we probably helped their night go a little faster.
Yeah, exactly. And we were probably one of the highest.
Probably the highest spender for that night.
Yeah, exactly.
Buying all that wedding stuff.
And it's a 24-hour store, so it's like there. It's weird. Like I don't think they were expecting us.
No,
just for it being 24 hours, weirdly, but
Great spot, and they're
Yeah.
not paying us anything to say this. We paid them, trust me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, the Charleston in Maine or Fourth or something like that. Right,
it's
down
literally
there.
right next to
And
Christine's.
and it's really really nice little place. Really clean, fresh, modern store.
It's
Go in
really
and check
clean.
it out. Whether you think you're into it or not, go in and check it out. You'll be surprised. But anyway, so we've got to get my stuff arranged, and I've got like a corduroy jacket. I'd like to get some like maybe corduroy pants or something, and then we're doing the what are those shoes called? Like they've kind of like got a W shape kind of on them, like old Western kind of style. Yeah.
I keep hassling him and telling him, babe, we need to go get your
I don't know why. It's not that I'm not excited. I just don't freaking feel like it. I'm not there yet. I just have so many other things I have to do. That I just feel like it's not a priority yet, which I mean, I probably shouldn't be thinking like that.
Because we're getting kind of close.
It's going to be here before we know it. And if something doesn't come right or show up right, doesn't fit, I mean,
it's just like not getting our wedding certificate until like the last day.
Oh, I guess we better go do that too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get our marriage license. Yeah.
License, yeah.
Go down to the clerk's office there. Yeah. Lots to prepare for. And even when you think you have it all done, you don't. That's wedding life. But well, anyway, so we went on a heck of an adventure today. Found some things in the desert that we didn't expect to find, some really handy things, and we're going to tell you about it on the other side of the break. And a police investigation. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we ended up getting involved in a police investigation today. So we're going to tell you a little bit about that when we come back. Having fun over there?
Totally.
Not getting too many cramps over there, are you?
Yes and no. This chair is quite uncomfortable. And
so is mine.
I can feel my feet swelling from them being down like this.
No, wait. Purposely have you off the feet.
Yeah, no, they need to be like up.
Should I just get you like a chaise lounge? You can just lounge back in and we can do the show? Would that be better?
That would be quite nice right now.
Well, I've got a cat to my left, so that brings things up a little bit.
Well, she has to constantly be in a chair. She's been in a chair all day.
She likes this one. She really likes this tall. I had to chase her off before the show.
Yeah.
She doesn't really like that. Yeah. So anyway, everyone's like, shut up and get to the thing you were talking about for the break. I'm gonna kill time. I'm gonna getting a little thirsty over here.
Anticipation. The viewers are like me. Zach can never.
There's some cold water.
Zach can never be able to have a surprise for me or keep a secret or anything because just the anticipation for me. I'm just constantly asking questions like, "Tell me, what is it?"
Yeah, if I really want to torture you, I'll make sure to mention something if I have a surprise on the way. But most of the time, if I don't want you to drive me bonkers and keep asking me, I'll just keep it to myself. It's not worth teasing you.
You sure did do a really good job with hiding my ring.
Yes. Yeah, we'll have to get into that one of these days and talk about that. That was a good time.
Yeah, we have the whole video for that too.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We're gonna share that. We'll get into that. Maybe this show, maybe next show. I'm not sure. But right now, everyone wants to hear about what on earth happened out there today. So we went out to find. Anyway, we were talking about our rock garden and everything we had to prepare. So we were out loading up rocks.
Yeah, got a little sidetracked.
Out here in the desert, there are so many. We talked about this a little bit last show. There's so many abandoned things out there. People who either started building homes and never finished, or homes that were abandoned, or whatever.
Torn down. Things like
torn
that.
down, and most of the times they're partially torn down.
Yeah.
And we came across a couple shacks in the desert, and we just cannot help ourselves. So we'll pull up, and first we make sure there's nobody living in them, and then we'll poke around a little bit. We never do any harm or anything. We just like to see what's in there, and. You know, it's interesting. It's just interesting. I don't know. It just appeals to us. So found a couple little shacks and not much. A lot of junk wood. Just junk out there in the desert.
We found a van or
That's right. We found an old van, and coincidentally, it's the same model as mine. So I was pulling a couple parts of it, and trust me, this is long gone. This thing has been out there way too long. It's
literally been picked
it's
apart.
like the little lens for the headlight is perfect, so I took that, and the two visors were perfect. I mean, what are the chances? I was gonna actually like re-embroider them myself and like redo them or pay to have them done because they're all shredded and like every time you put the visor down, it's like stuff falls down there. These are somehow in fantastic shape, so it must have just been the way it's been parked all these years or something. But it's been out there for like a decade. I mean, it's done and gone. At this point, I feel like we're doing a service and cleaning up trash out of the desert, really. But anyway, so we found this other one that it almost looked like there's a lot of trailers out there, and it's almost like someone took all the trailer walls and the trailer bottom, and they just left everything else there. The entire contents of the house were there. I mean, stuffed animals, videotapes, games, greeting cards, everything.
It wasn't like a little pile here and there. It was literally
massive.
Like a quarter acre just filled.
It's like I put TNT in the middle of my house and just blew it up. It was just covered in stuff.
Exactly.
But
there's no remnants of like any kind of like house fires or anything.
No.
Like none of the belongings looked like they were fire damaged, water damaged, or anything. It was just they were just thrown out of a building and the building went poof.
Mm-hmm. What I personally think happened is I think the place was abandoned. Somebody came along. It was a trailer with a lot of metal. They scrapped all the metal. They just threw everything out the windows while they were cleaning it out, and that's it.
Well, if that's the case, that whoever used to live there, that person had a lot of personal belongings. Like it's quite interesting, and like it makes me wonder like who lived there and then what happened to them for them to leave that much belongings behind. Like there was even like photographs of like it looked like maybe their families and stuff, a lot of VHS tapes, and it looked like a lot of like personal, like, you know, it meant something to them, and then it just literally like they just packed up one night.
Yeah, they didn't even pack up.
They didn't even.
They left everything there.
They literally just said bye, Felicia, and went to like Mexico or something.
I mean, just family photos. I mean, toys, shirts, pants,
lots of clothes,
everything.
Like more clothes than Zach and I put together. Like that we own. Tons and tons of clothes. A few mattresses. Like I want to say there was about maybe 4 mattresses.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah,
easily.
And a lot of cupboards, drawers, dressers,
building cabinets ripped out. This is strange, but. So anyways, that was fun to poke around. I mean, it's kind of sad, but it's kind of fun because you kind of sit there and you build your own stories, and you never really know what's gonna happen, whatever happens. But we like to poke around and whatever. So we drove down the road a little bit, and
there's 2 roads. There's a road with the van, and then a road up.
Looped around.
So we looped around, made a U-turn, kind of in a way, went up the street.
Yeah, and we're out, and again, this is out there. This is fairly out there toward the edge of town. I mean, the roads are rocky. I wouldn't take your average little car on them.
Yeah, no, we take a Crown Victoria out there because it does have the scrape, it's
got the metal plate on the bottom.
Metal plate, so we're not too concerned about roxing it. So that's like our go-to like vehicle for outgoing.
Yeah, it handles well. It's got wide tires and a heavy body, and everything goes well. So we come up to this area and we see a couple trailers out in the distance, but there's no road to get to them.
It's next to a quarry.
Yeah, we just parked on the side of the road and we started walking toward them. And
it was me being pregnant. It was my choice to walk.
I literally looked at it. I was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And you said, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah,
it's good for me.
I don't know what came across me because where we parked and where those trailers were that looked abandoned.
Yeah,
it was quite a hike. Like I don't know what came across me. I'm just like, let's just walk it.
It might have been a quarter of a mile.
Yeah, just about.
Which for a pregnant lady and in uneven terrain. I mean, it's rock and pointy bushes and stuff.
And really hot.
And it was easily in the 80s, maybe even low 90s at that point.
And plus, I also had to really pee.
Yeah, you made that apparent many times while we're out.
Yeah.
You always say that you tell me that, and then I'm like, okay, you want to go home? You're like, no, let's keep going. Okay, what do you want me to do about it? So, and that's why if you're watching us on the video stream, that's why we all are a little red. because we spent quite a bit of
I'm
time.
quite red.
We were not expecting to spend that much time out there today.
A part of the time, like I was wearing a shirt and then I had a sports bra underneath. I got so hot I took my shirt off and was just wearing my sports bra and shorts. I have a heat rash all over my tummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got quite worse.
So we're approaching the things. We're maybe a quarter of the way there.
Yeah.
And
I looked back and I'm just like, oh, we're not even that far away from
and
the
I
car.
gave you the option to turn around. And you said, no, let's keep going. We stopped for a second though. We thought about it, and I kicked this little a bone, and in the desert it's very common to find bones out there. A lot of times, dead animals, rabbits, burrows, all that stuff. I think we talked about this on the last show.
Yeah,
how you've collected skulls and all that thing.
Numerous amounts
I pointed out. I said, hey, we found hey, look at this, and you looked at it and you weren't sure if it was a bone or whatever. It wasn't. Yeah, it was pretty simple, so we just moved on.
Yeah, it looked more of like maybe like. What are those palm tree looking things?
Right, yeah.
Kind of like
branch or a leaf or
look like some kind of plant or like a really dried up plant.
Right. So I was like, okay, whatever.
I just discarded it. I'm just like, even if it is a bone, I mean, it doesn't look like anything too exciting, and I have plenty of things like that. So.
Right. So nothing that unusual. Well, then I remember kind of looking to the right, maybe 15 feet away or so, and I saw another one. I said, oh, hey, there's another one. It's kind of in a little water wash thing going on there.
Quite large, a little bit larger than the first one that came across. Yeah,
a little thicker, maybe 10 inches long.
A little longer, I want to say, because that's about a foot. Yeah,
and then probably about an inch or so around. Yeah. And again, I mean, I don't know. There's so many creatures out there, coyotes and donkeys, and who knows what it is. So, and then I looked up a little bit farther, and I see another one. And there's like a little, like a colored ball next to it or something.
This one's quite interesting.
Yeah, so we walk up to it, and I'm like, whoa, what's the little ball thing?
It was really quite eye-catching. Like, it
stood out.
Yeah, it really stood out. It was one of those things where we're just like, this doesn't look normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think I picked it up because I'm not really into picking them up. But you picked it up, and then we see this. It's a purple ball.
It was more
pinkish,
a pink,
pinkish ball with a silver metal stem going into the bone. I mean, installed professionally. I mean, it looks nice. And then it hit me because my mom's had hip replacements and things. It looks like a joint ball, like a hip replacement. You know.
And knowing me, I like to search everything up and pictures and see what things look like. I search what tarantulas look like when they glow, things like that.
Right.
Blah blah blah. So I search hip replacements to see what those looked like. And those photos were exactly what we found. Like, I mean, the only thing that was quite odd was the color of the ball.
Yeah, it was being a light.
Yeah,
pink,
a light pink. Normally they're like either a white or a tan or like a bone color,
right?
Eggshell color. But this one was pink. So I mean, my assumption is probably it was maybe imported or it was a surgery done in a different country where they just use different.
Well, so at this point we concluded that it is probably not an animal bone because it's what animal? I mean, maybe a taxidermist would have done something to make the bones fit together, but that's usually more like pins or staples or something like that. So we're at this point we said, I don't know, man. This sure looks human to me.
Yeah.
So
and since I was holding it and everything, I literally put it again. I put the ball part against my head.
And it matched.
Everything kind of matched. Like it was literally the length of my femur bone. Like it was that long.
So we went back to the car and I dialed up Nye County Sheriff because I thought it was time to do. So we got to go. We'll be right back. We'll tell you more about it, what happened when we come back. Yeah, so human bones. At least that's sure what it looks like.
Yeah.
So the sheriff's office finally gets there. We had to give them latitude and longitude because it was kind of a weird place. It wasn't at an intersection or anything. It's just a little random dirt road. And so they get there, and 2 units show up, one with a training officer, an officer in training, so 3 officers total. And we walk over there trying to find it because it's kind of.
They seemed quite nervous. If you didn't gather that, like
I didn't. No.
Yeah,
why do you say that?
So while we were walking out there, the officer that was behind you, I couldn't really see, but he just had his hand here the whole time while he was behind you, like either like, because I mean I feel
on his gun is what you're saying,
around that area, either his taser, his gun, something like that. Because I feel like if someone calls saying they found human bones and then we drag them out into the desert,
right?
Who knows what's going through their mind? And then and then the other, like I was kind of behind the 2 cops, so it was you, all 3 cops, and then me. Well, the skinny gentleman cop, he looks behind him and he pushes me forward so that I can get in front of them, because I felt like he was nervous that I was behind them. Well,
and it's a shame in this world, in this way they have to behave like this all the time, because you just never know. And they're in a very uncontrolled environment right there. They're in a place where they're away from their cars. They can't get out of there easily. The cameras on their cars are pointing in front, and now they do have body cameras too. You never know in their eyes. Are we dragging them out into the middle of the desert because we want to, because we're some revengeful individuals or something? I mean, really, they don't have much to help them all the way out there. So I mean, it's a shame, but that's kind of why I made sure I stayed ahead. I was well ahead of him, just because I didn't want to freak him, because I realized it's kind of weird. It is. Why are we out there? Like, there's kind of a lot of weird pieces.
They probably haven't had this kind of call and.
And it's not like we're on a hiking trail or something. We were just kind of in a weird place. It's hard to find. But then we showed it to him, and the first thing I think he said was, "Wow, that sure is interesting."
So they soon got really intrigued and interested.
They're whipping out the phone and they're taking pictures and they're sending it to other people in the department, making phone calls, all kinds of stuff. Because I mean, the last thing you want to do is waste their time. I mean, obviously we're operating in good motives, but at the same time, like if it's an animal bone, you're gonna feel stupid. I just drug these officers out here. There's better things they could be doing. So it was a little relieving to know that we actually called them out for a legitimate thing.
Well, because next thing we know, like, we kind of go off to the side and we hear one of the officers say, "Yeah, it's legit." Like,
he says, "It's real.
It's real."
Like, it's real. Do you want to call a detective? That's what we heard. So that's what we knew for sure. And they got the police tape out and they're tying it on the bushes to signify where the things are. And so before you know
real
it,
intense.
Before you know it, there's 4 police units and a detective unit all on this dirt road out in the middle of nowhere.
And the Nye County Sheriff.
The sheriff, the top woman in charge, showed up. And I keep saying it's in the middle of nowhere. Honestly, I can go out to the front of my house and look and see where it is on the base of the mountain.
What's quite I don't know if ironic is the right word, but the officers' training facility,
that's right,
is literally like a road down. Like, that's how we were able to kind of because the officer didn't really know. Like, he ended up calling us back and he was like, "Where exactly is this?" And we used the training facility as kind of like, it's right there. You just need to go down a little bit more and make the first turn.
Right.
Yeah.
We're sitting there filling out police reports, and they're gathering around it. More units show up, and the detective shows up, and we're just kind of hanging out. And before you know it, it's a crime scene. There's just groups of cops, and they're standing around. And they went way up into the desert because, like I said, it was in a little bit of a water, like a runoff ditch. Coming down from the mountains here, we're in the valleys, so there's just these runoff ditches everywhere in the desert, just wherever the water chooses to flow. And it was in there, so they were thinking it washed down through the drainage, which makes sense to me. That's why we didn't find anything else.
Well, and for a while too, because it was the trainee officer, then the other officer who came with her. It was those two kind of scouring, yeah, looking around the area. And when me and Zach, like the officers, told us, okay, you can go sit in your car for a little bit, and until we tell you you can go. So we're sitting in the car and we're kind of looking around, like looking for the two, like where the heck did they go?
Yeah.
Well, we looked towards where like the van that we found was, and all those clothes and things, and they ended up coming from that way.
Yeah.
So they must have ended up over there looking through all of that stuff too. So.
They traced a large area there, and I didn't see anything else get marked. I didn't see them come back with anything, so I don't think they located anything else in the time we were there. But I was later told by other sources that they had search and rescue out there. I mean, they had a task force out there, and they're even considering going out again tomorrow and doing more. So it's really it's good, and it's interesting to see how much effort they are to. I mean, this person could have died 5-10 years ago, but a life is a life, and they want to figure out what happened there.
Exactly, and that person probably had family who was really concerned and never got closure to know what happened to this family member.
That's right.
And thankfully, this person, I mean, it probably sucked in the time when they were alive. Oh, yeah, it's a hip replacement. That kind of sucks. But, it is quite fortunate that this person did have a hip replacement due to it having serial codes.
Yeah.
Leading it to being able to trace who that person was.
Yeah, every I mean, as far as I know, at least in recent times, every replacement like that, something when they put artificial in your body, has a serial number on it, and you can search that in the database, and it shows what doctor did it, what facility it was done in, and of course the person's name and information.
Yeah.
So, I mean, finding some bones out there could be challenging to do anything with, but with that, that can literally get traced back to a name.
If it's just normal bones, if you don't have teeth, you're screwed.
Right.
Like, because even like bones like that, if it's not like whole fingers with flesh where you can find the fingerprints, it has to be the teeth. And if you don't have teeth, then you're just literally SOL.
Yeah.
So it's really quite, it's quite not that, what's the word? It's a relief that this person did have this.
Yeah. I mean, I was saying to the officer, I'm glad, because I mean, otherwise we probably would have just thought they were animal bones.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I see, again, like I said before, we see bones out there all the time, and if there's not something that signifies that it was a human, like a skull or something like that, of course it's an animal.
Sometimes they're hard to distinguish. I mean, if this did
cats are fighting. Jeez.
If it didn't have that hip replacement, I mean, for all I know, I really hope not. Some of the bones I might have out in our bone garden could possibly be human. I mean, I'm not saying they are. I'm not saying I want them to be.
No,
but it's just like you never know unless you actually have like them fully tested, take them to labs, this and that.
That's right. You and I could have picked them up, and we could have been like, oh, cool, okay, let's add them to the boneyard. Because that's why we're out getting rocks for your boneyard.
Exactly.
Literally. I could have thrown them in my yard. For all I know, we have human bones out there. Or we could have
just picked one up, and I could have been like, I already have one like this, and then discarded it. It could have well been a human bone.
Right. So we were very lucky, if you will, whatever right word there is, to be able to find that. And hopefully, I mean, I'm sure we probably won't ever hear anything back, but hopefully we can help somebody find some closure.
Yeah. I kind of like, I really want to know who it was. I keep telling Zach this. I want to know all the W questions, the who, what, where, and why. Like,
no, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Yeah. But about a year ago, some remains were found way up Wheeler Pass, which is in that direction. It's in the same area. I mean, if we were standing where we were, I could look over to the right, maybe a couple miles, and right there is Wheeler Pass, and they all kind of go up to the same mountain. So, for all we know, it could be the other parts of his remains. Now, I don't know what
they didn't find all of them.
That's what I was told. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know what state his remains were in at the time, but what was he? I think he was a homeless individual. He was living in the mountains or something.
He was
so it could be the other parts of him, and I mean, hopefully not. Hopefully it is.
Yeah. But I just keep thinking. I mean, like, it could have just been like he could have ended up being homeless towards the end of his life. But I just keep thinking, like, how does a homeless person obtain a hip replacement? Like,
well, yeah, most people, a lot of folks become homeless later in life.
Yeah.
They'll go through an addiction, or they'll go through an injury or a disability, or they come back from the war and they can't, they have issues and they can't hold a job or whatever, and they find it easier for them in the way they are to live that way. And or they feel like they don't have an option. So I mean, it's you or I could be there in 30 years.
Don't say that, knock on wood.
Well, but yeah. So it's not crazy. I mean, yeah, once you think about it, it could all really add up. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever do, but of course, if we find out, we'll certainly let you know.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm just hoping like it. I'm hoping we did make some family happy.
Well, we definitely did the right thing. There's no question about that. So the news was here just a little bit ago, because obviously they get real interested when there's dead body parts found.
Yeah.
And so the news was here and interviewed both of us. And I wasn't like super wild about it, because I try to not associate myself with finding dead things on TV, dead humans, I should say.
We don't want to disrespect the family either. So it's
too,
like it's a really fine line.
So we're gonna share a couple pictures, only because there's nothing identifiable or anything like that.
Yeah.
We certainly wouldn't want to do that.
And it's not graphic whatsoever either,
no.
which is the good thing.
But I think it's also good to share too, because folks around here, if they're out hiking, it's important to keep your eyes out for stuff like that too, because you could help solve a murder, help a family that lost somebody.
Yeah,
so.
If you see anything suspicious, then you should.
It's a cat growling because I'm petting her as she's walking by.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's useful. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't like super thrilled about being on the news. I was like, why the heck not? Let's just do it. I don't think if somebody did kill that individual, hopefully it was 5-10 years ago, and I don't really think we did anything that's gonna change.
Yeah,
much of
us
anything there.
Anything.
Yeah.
No, this doesn't seem like too concerning for us.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, it was concerning for the person who died.
I guess so.
I'm sorry, that was a really bad joke to make in that kind of state. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
A joke? That wasn't a joke.
Okay.
You're good. You're good. I think you're good. All right. Well,
trying to comic relief.
Comic relief. Yeah. That's what you got to do. That's what cops do in those situations too.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back. So Barbie, Barbie.
Yeah.
Barbie doll. Barbie has a last name.
What the heck?
Yeah. It's freaking the internet out.
What's her last name?
Barbie Roberts.
Why haven't I seen this on Instagram yet? Why is her last name Roberts? What the heck? Barbie
Roberts.
Why is it Roberts?
I was at Barbara Millicent Roberts is her full name. Now you got to remember.
Hey, Barb.
You got to remember she came out of the. When was Barbie come out? Like 50s or something? 50s, 60s. So I mean, that's a very 60s name,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So people are freaking out, violently and severely uncomfortable at the fact that Barbie has a last name, says Ellie Grace on Twitter. Naya on Twitter. If you didn't know Barbie's last name was Roberts, you're not a true fan, I guess.
Yeah.
Barbie's last name was always Roberts. I'm disappointed in the ignorance of people. This is quoting off of Twitter. This is what they should be teaching in schools instead of math. Who even uses math?
Yes.
There you go.
Exactly.
Did you know Ken has a last name? Ken.
Yeah.
The men.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, Barbie and Ken.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think I.
Now in 2004.
I feel like I've heard that one, just not Barbie's.
Do you know it?
No, I don't know.
In 2004, Ken and Barbie split up, but they'd remain friends. And apparently on Valentine's Day in 2011, they got back together. Whatever. Who that cares? His name is Kenneth Carson.
Okay, I think I knew that. Kenneth
Carson and Barbara Millicent Roberts. Yes. And that's, I can't make this crap up. They have parents. Barbie's parents are George and Margaret Roberts. And apparently she has over 40 pets. She also dated Blaine, the Australian surfer, during her split from Ken. In case you care to know any of this nonsense. Yeah. So now that you're up on your Barbie news, yeah.
I played with Barbies when I was little, but I also mostly played with Bratz.
I was gonna say, oh yeah, I could picture that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an Olympic
Callie
gymnast
here.
Barbie. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah. Did you have the Olympic? Because you're a
No.
gymnast. So you know have it.
I never had
You're a
it.
certified gymnast.
I am.
Yeah. Yeah, you always kind of thought, just thought she was like Cher, Rihanna, just one
Rihanna has
name.
a last name.
Yeah, but how they're known, I guess.
Wait,
I
what?
don't know. What's Rihanna's last name?
Fenty?
See, nobody knows and nobody cares. Exactly.
Yeah,
Just like Barbie.
They know now because she just came out with her new makeup brand, and that
Oh.
it's called Fenty Beauty, and and people were wondering for the longest time like what does Fenty mean, and it turned out it was Rihanna's last name.
Oh, well, how about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean,
How
That's
about
what I've
that?
heard.
This was released on Siblings Day when Barbie's Twitter.
oh,
I mean, not released. Apparently, people knew this from before, but the most recent information stage of knowing this was on Siblings Day. Happy Siblings Day from the Roberts sisters is what Barbie posted.
oh.
Yeah.
I know, I feel bad. Sorry, Deanna. She's my sister. Shout out to you. I never posted anything on Siblings Day on Instagram. And I feel really
When
bad.
was
'cause
sibling? Do we
normally I
know when that was?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. It was like, maybe like,
Siblings Day. Yeah, April 10th.
yeah. It wasn't
just a
too
couple weeks
long ago. And I
Yeah.
feel really bad because Deanna's like my other half.
Well, I didn't know either, but I
Yeah.
I also don't have
Well, I knew
siblings,
like
so.
a couple days after because I saw all of previous posts from people posting Happy Siblings Day and posting
Yeah.
their siblings and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry.
Aw. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, well, I had no idea, and I'm pretty sure every day of the year is something different here in the United States.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how we always do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep itching my face because my beard is getting quite long.
Oh, it's okay.
I know you like it, yeah. But
I keep scratching right here, and it might be quite awkward for
Right.
some viewers,
Mm.
but
well,
yes,
it keeps tickling
it
my
is.
nose. I keep feeling
Yeah.
there's like a bug in my nose. Yeah. Well. Oh boy, what do we got coming up here in the next week? Martini the Snake. Have we talked about Martini the Snake at all?
I don't think we've talked about Martini
I
yet.
don't think so. So Martini is a ball python. He lives in our bedroom.
Yes.
He eats mice and rats.
He eats rats, not mice.
I'm sorry, not mice.
He is quite large. Mice would be like an hors d'oeuvre to him.
You do a mice in a blanket for him, yeah.
Yeah.
So he eats rats, and he just otherwise hangs out. And he
We're
he's
in
a
the-
little bitey.
Yeah, he is slightly feisty. When people come up, they like you have a dog with you, and they're like, "Oh, can I pet your dog?" And they're like, "Yeah." Well, if someone comes up and I have Martini with me, and they want to pet Martini, no, he bites.
Mm-hmm.
Do not touch the snake. But I mean, like, other than that, like he is a very nice snake.
And what do they
He's-
go do anyway? They try to touch the snake.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I do take him places with me. I take him to my sister's work and stuff like that. She works at a 76 station. So I just go and hang out with her. I take Martini. And he'll settle down after like holding him being around people, and he
Yeah.
won't try and strike. But there's been a few times like I I didn't tell Zach for a while, but there was a couple of times where he would walk by and he had his back turned, and Martini would strike at Zach because he was either walking too quickly, doing the too fast of a movement in front of him.
Yeah.
So he would strike at Zach. He would never bite him or anything. He just
No, he just couldn't reach me.
yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't tell me about this until like a week later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been bit by Martini twice.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me this. Why are you hiding this from me?
Because I don't want you to be scared of him.
Oh, okay. So just let me get bit instead.
He
Sounds
won't
good.
bite you.
But he bit you. Why wouldn't he bite me?
Well,
He
because
doesn't like me as much.
so-
I'm not the one who feeds him.
So the first time it's my fault. I've been feeding him inside of his cage.
Right.
He's really stubborn. I try to feed him outside of his cage, but he just won't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really difficult. So the only place I've been able to get him to eat was in its cage. Well, the first time, I was putting my hand in the cage. I was moving a bowl, and I think it kind of either scared him or he thought it was a mouse or something, and he struck at me. He didn't like latch on or anything, but like he barely nicked me.
Wow.
Yeah, it didn't hurt or anything, like, but I felt that he touched me, and I was like, okay, that wasn't that bad. And then the last time, it was actually quite recent. So he has a little problem going on right now. I think he might have scale rot. He is going to the vet for it, but he's been flaking on his belly. So I gave him a bath, and I was trying to get some of the scales off. I might have pulled something I shouldn't have, and he bit me.
Oh, right. Pull a little too deep or something.
Yeah, exactly. Because I just like to try and help him make sure he's flaking okay, not itchy or anything. So I just try to help him out. But yeah, I did think I pulled something, like just a scale a little bit too hard, and it made him uncomfortable, and he did bite me. But again, it wasn't like he latched on or anything.
Yeah,
it was just a
little nick.
Yeah, so
like an angry cat.
Yeah, so I just think like he's feisty because he's not feeling good.
Yeah. So so I have to take him to the vet now that you've filled me in on all his bitey stories. You and Martini are full of lies. I have to take him to the vet because you have a commitment on Monday, so we have to get him in.
Go to work.
Yeah, I don't want him to I don't want him to suffer or potentially be harmed long term. How about you get off the soundboard, huh?
Like, because it's not
cat
confirmed.
On the soundboard.
It's not confirmed that he has scale rot,
right?
But I want him to get checked just in case.
We don't want to risk it. Yeah. So I'm gonna take him. So I'm joking that I'm gonna put him in the cat carrier and take him in, and I actually think I kind of think it's a good solution actually. But you're saying I could just put him in his pillowcase and take him, and that's actually a normal way of carrying
exactly.
snakes.
That's the best way to transport a snake is by a pillowcase. Yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of put them in there, and then you can sort of loosely tie it off, and they don't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Don't worry. I'll be sure to post about it and publish it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll go from there.
I will be quite interested when I come home from work to see how this vet appointment goes.
Yeah, I've never taken a snake somewhere. I've never seen a vet interact with a snake, so it should be interesting. Yeah.
We'll tell you some stories about how to give snakes medication.
Yeah. Well, the good news is they're shaped like a pipe, so it's pretty, pour it in one end, hope for the best.
Yeah. I don't know. Other than that, do we have any other upcoming events this week?
That I know
of.
No
just
doctor's appointments.
Yeah, things to look forward to. Yeah, we don't have any baby doctor's appointments. We don't have anything. Zach's going out to Goldfield tomorrow, so he'll update you on that on Friday. Or next week when we do our next podcast.
We're going up there. They're opening their visitor center. We talked about this a little bit last show. That's where we're getting married.
I will not be attending. It'll be Zach and his mom.
Yeah, you have other things you have to do. But
that's okay.
We'll have a good time.
But yeah, so Zach will fill you in on how Saturday goes. And then, so he has Goldfield Saturday. Yeah. He has the vet appointment Monday. And then other than that, I think it's just...
Goldfield is it's I won't go massively into it, but we talked about it a little bit in the last show. It's a little abandoned, not abandoned, but a ghost town, mining town. It's down to 200 people. It used to have like 20,000, 40,000, something like that, people living there. So anyway, it's been slowly trying to revive itself and all that, and it's right on the 95 corridor. So anyway, they're opening a visitor center, and it'll be exciting. We're gonna go up there and shoot some videos, since that's what I do when I'm not sitting here in front of the microphone. And should be fun. A lot of good people.
Or going
up there.
on adventures with me.
Yeah, looking forward to
stuff.
Yeah. When we're not finding dead things in the desert, both human and animal.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. So good friends up there. Looking forward to spend some time up there. So we'll post a little bit about that as well.
Yeah. Other than that, it's plan as we go the rest of the week. So
that's right.
We'll keep you updated.
Living the life, living the dream, living the adventure
with angry cats and snakes.
This will be an adventure and a half. Well, that's about it for us. We've got to get out of here. We will see you next week.
Have a good one, guys.